Get away from her, you bitch.
Okay. All right. So welcome to Seen by Few, and this is our Thanksgiving special. And as you can see by some of the regalia, as well as the title you clicked, Aliens. What's aliens got to do with Thanksgiving? Well, Thanksgiving movies sucked,
Mm,
so we decided Thanksgiving is for movies that we are thankful for, and we were kind of listing off a few, and we're like, this one. Why not? Let's talk about this one.
Well, I just remember asking you, I was like, hey, Nick, do you want to do aliens for Thanksgiving? And you were like, I would love to talk about aliens. I was like, me too. So here we are.
Yep. So, Aliens from 1986. Specifically, we watched the special edition.
Hmm.
So with extra 15 minutes of footage kind of added back to the movie proper.
Just to make it even more of a gut punch.
Yes, which I guess we'll get to it.
Mm.
What those scenes add to it, but it's also this one's mine, and in it has the director's cut of I think all the movies. I don't remember if Alien Resurrection had a director's cut or not, save for Alien 3, which had the assembly cut because they butchered the director's work so much initially that he doesn't want to touch that shit anymore. And also, the assembly cut for Alien 3 is trash. It's not better than Alien 3.
Alien 3, just in particular, is trash.
It's a movie and it's not
I can
awful.
pick that shit apart all day.
It's the beginning of it that really just kind of wrecks it fucks over what
It
would
fucked
be.
up the flow.
Yeah, it fucked up the flow.
And not only that, and this isn't extremely spoilery, but when xenomorphs ingest inside something, and when it comes out, it takes on the traits of like that thing, and it ingested inside of a dog.
And then just instead of a bowl.
Bull.
Yeah, and then when they recut it, they ingested it in a dog.
Yeah. Well, okay.
But
So,
it's silly.
but yeah, because like the thing is supposed to like if I don't know about you, but like xenomorphs are already fucking fast. If it ingested inside of a dog, that thing would be on you like stink on shit.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't like that in the
No.
movie. Like they had time to like run from it down the hall. It was so bad,
Yeah.
so bad.
Okay. So I mean spoilers, but specifically after we give the score.
Mm.
Yeah, go ahead and pick what you think I gave this score.
Whoops.
I'll give you time.
I don't need too much time. I feel like I know what you're gonna give it.
Okay.
Did I go 1, 2 pie again?
I don't know. Did you?
Nah. Yeah, I feel
All
like I
right.
will.
Lance,
Hmm.
do we just want to say what this movie is?
Yeah.
It's 10.
Yeah, it's a 10.
It's a 10. This movie's a 10.
I did it again.
This movie's a 10. This is the Alien and Aliens are just such fucking perfect movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's not much you can do to fuck with them. They're the fucking best movie like ever. These movies are fucking great.
Seems like one too high. I was like, oh, maybe he didn't enjoy it as a
I
perfect good
mean,
movie.
I guess me showing up with DVDs isn't much, but I should show up with a comic book.
Yeah, no, I should have known. I should have known. I honestly pulled 10 out. I was like, sometimes Nick is like pessimistic about certain things, so it's like I'll just give it a 9
No,
just to be safe.
there is this movie is flawless.
Yeah.
And adding stuff. So we watched the special edition and adding most of those scenes in. I like most of what they added back in.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of what they added in adds to it even more.
Well, it's only at the beginning, right?
No, there's several scenes in there that are added in. There's like 15 minutes added back in.
Hmm. So I didn't.
So spoilers for Aliens,
Yeah.
a movie from 1986 that we're gonna start talking about.
If you haven't seen this movie, seriously, go fuck yourself.
We're also going to talk specifically
So
about
good.
what some extra scenes that occurred in the special edition. If you've not seen the special edition,
Mm-hmm.
it adds 15 minutes to it, and most of what it adds in. I mean, there's little bits here and there, but for the most part, like they've added like scenes back into the movie, and there is still more that I think was left, like out entirely that didn't make it to the cut. So they didn't just throw everything back into it,
Mm-hmm.
but like what they added in is good.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've not seen it before, like the special edition,
It's worth
it's
it.
worth it. It's one of those I think rare occasions in which it only adds to it, save for like maybe one little thing that I'm like it didn't need to occur this early on.
Well, like the movie is literally like a shot to the stomach. and watch the special edition. It's like a shot in the stomach,
Yeah.
and then a little tiny nut tab
Okay.
on top of it. So
So spoilers. So the kind of, I think something that needs to be in the base movie is the scene in which Burke tells Ripley that, like, oh, we tracked down your daughter and she died of old age while you were in hypersleep or whatever, and that just kind of completes the daughter arc between her and Newt, and kind of that whole like nuclear family when you add like Hicks in there as well, kind of that found family sort of little bit that I think just adds to the movie a little bit more.
yeah, it's so the scene at the end of the movie where Ripley comes back, grabs Newt, and Newt says "mommy" and hugs her is impactful. When you find out that Newt lost her daughter because she was in hypersleep that long.
You mean Ripley?
Ripley. God bless America. I've already fucked up. We're not going back. When you find out that Ripley lost her daughter from old age because she was in hypersleep for fucking like
57 years,
something like that. And then she said "mommy" at the end of the movie. That actually made me tear up a little bit.
that's where I've always thought the word "mommy" doesn't need to be there. That's a little silly.
I was fine with it.
Yeah, her mom just died.
Yeah, her mom just died, but at the same time, it's like Ripley fought so hard to keep her alive, and like, yeah, like she, when it came to everyone else in the movie, it was like they're gone, they're dead. Let's move on. They're being cocooned. But it came to Newt, she's like, she's still alive.
Yeah.
Like we have time to save her. They're gonna cocoon her. Yeah, she fought her ass off to make sure she was okay, and then like another. Just the movie is just. I'll just say from the top, Sigourney Weaver as Ripley is my favorite action hero of all time. Love her. She's fucking perfect in the fact of she's not a military fucking hardened badass.
No, she was a trucker.
Yeah, she's a fucking space junk hauler.
Yeah.
And basically, she kind of like she was familiar with fighting them from the first movie. And then in this movie, it was just like, I just want them all to die.
And she's just intelligent, and like in the first movie, and like Kane shows up with a thing on his face, and she's like, yeah, that's against protocol.
Not coming in.
Yeah, that's fuck that. Like we're not fucking this shit up. And it's all other people that kind of subjugate like her authority or whatever, and kind of go around her, including this movie when it's like, hey, but they're on this planet. They're like, that's dumb. That's fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And then you find out Burke sent him to go like, it's like, oh, there's aliens on this planet? Why don't we send some people out there to see if they can find what's going on? And then awful shit happens.
Yeah. And this time I was really kind of watching closely, like, on Burke when the movie was going on. And when she was like, why don't you send somebody up there to find out what's going on? He's like, oh, we don't have to. There's been a colony up there, a shake and bake colony that's been up there for, like, you know, this amount of time.
Like 20 years.
And when he says that, if you watch Burke behind Ripley, he's just like...
Oh, yeah. Didn't mention that part. Or...
Yeah. You could tell he was a little nervous, like, shit, you're telling her more than I need you to tell her right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this movie is flawless from beginning to end. The storyline is perfect. Everything that they bring up, it all comes to fruition. Everything comes back around. I still get moments of pride when you see Ripley step into the fucking hauler for the first time, the letter.
Oh, yeah.
And she's just like, where do you want it? Bay 12, please. Like, I fucking loved all of that.
Yeah. It's such a quick little thing that kind of like, she can take care of herself, but also it sets up her getting into the power loader later.
Yeah.
And show that like, she lost her license. Mm-hmm. And now she's just been working in the Bay, not ready to go back to Earth or whatever.
You have no idea how bad I wanted a fucking power loader. When I was a kid, dude, I wanted a power loader so bad. Oh my god.
Well, I guess you'll have a Halloween costume in a couple of years. When he's old enough to ride your feet.
Well, yeah, I did. Well, yeah. Yeah, I'll just put him on my feet. Fucking.
Well, that's what they did in the movie. There's a man in that suit.
Is there?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just... Have you ever heard the story of James Cameron selling the idea of making a second Aliens?
I mean, a little bit. So
apparently he went in. This is just what I was able to gather from the internet. But apparently he went in with execs and was like, "Okay, this is a movie I want to make." And he went to a whiteboard and wrote "Alien," and they were like, and then he put an S, and they were like, and then he put dollar sign as the S, and everyone went, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I just. James Cameron, whether you like him or not, He's fucking brilliant.
He could mix good fucking movies.
He makes great movies.
And this, he shot Terminator before this one,
Mm-hmm.
but it hadn't come out yet because they went over to shoot in England, and the people there did not respect him at all. And it was one of those things. I guess back in the day, you would kind of you go with the studio, and the studio gives you whatever people it is. So they went to shoot here, and like you're shooting at whatever this place is called. Well, here's the crew that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't get to pick his crew.
And they're also, like a heavy union crew, and he didn't establish himself as a.
It's him. Over in America, like movies are kind of like a fucking thing we do. Mm-hmm. And I guess 12-hour days over here for shooting movies that's what you do. Mm-hmm. And over there it was like they work a 9 to 5 job. They have their tea time. At 5 o'clock, we're like, no, we're fucking done. The clock's over.
Yes, supposedly Cameron grabbed the tea cart at one point and like threw it out a door and was like, "Can we just make this fucking movie?"
Yeah, it's where like I don't know, movie making is like a passion here, and I guess over there it was more of like a business. And I think that's probably changed over time as they've gotten a bit more stuff over there.
If you work,
but even still, it's lowish budget.
If you work in the movie industry in England,
yeah.
Could you let us know how hard pressed y'all are to get like stuff turned out? Because I would almost say that it's probably the same since since forever. Any of the TV shows that come out in England, it's only 6 episodes. It's only always 6 episodes, it seems.
Maybe, but even still, you have like Doctor Who or whatever. It's been going on for fucking ever.
I don't watch any Doctor Who, so I'm not sure. But I'm sure they do more than 6 episodes, at least for Doctor Who. Yeah. So, but that's like a cash cow. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, it's just this movie is easily in my top 3 favorite movies of all time.
It's up there for me. I don't know where I'd put it. It might be my favorite action movie. I don't know if there's an action movie I like better than this.
I'd almost say as an action movie, this is like my number 1.
Yeah, I mean it might be up there.
Yeah, I still get a chill every single time she walks out in the loader. Get away from here, you bitch! I fucking love that scene so much, and I even like how the alien's just like, oh,
it's time for this shit.
Yeah, I guess we're doing this dance. The fight when she like grabs the fucking head for the first time in the power loader, and you actually hear the crunch of the carapace.
Yeah.
And then like when the tail. So I noticed something, and maybe you can help me on this.
Mm-hmm.
So I noticed that. So the queen has like that big daggery spear-like tail, that scorpion tail.
Yep.
When she strikes at the loader 2 times, when the queen falls down into the airlock, her tail doesn't have that on it.
With the dagger bit?
Yeah, it's not on there. And I was wondering if like Ripley knocked it off or squeezed it off with the power loader. But I went back and watched that scene like 5 times trying to figure out what happened to it. And I'm not sure if it was just something that got overlooked.
It was like a miniature for that little thing, I think.
Probably. Yeah. Well, you can also tell like the tail was on like a fucking rope, where they were just kind of like raising and dropping it. Yeah. But I noticed that it wasn't on there, and I was just like, did she knock it off, or like, did it get knocked off somehow in the fucking fight, or maybe like the second time she struck the fucking loader, it hit so hard it like knocked it off.
Not that they show anyway.
No, they didn't, and like I went back and watched that shit at least 5 times.
I've never noticed it before.
Yeah, but you'll see it now.
Maybe.
Because that's the only thing I was thinking is like when she went down into the pit, it was like the queen stuck underneath the power loader, and I was like, she still got that tail to slice her ass up with when she goes up the fucking ladder, but it wasn't there. So, but yeah, fundamentally, story-wise, acting-wise, this movie had like pound for pound, huge fucking star power.
Yeah, and for a movie with essentially like, you're filling it with disposable crew, like a lot of these people are memorable.
Oh yeah.
It tends to be most of the people that actually, make it out of the initial thing, but you still have like Apone and like Drake and stuff who don't make it out of the initial assault that are still pretty memorable.
Yeah, Frost is gone. Like Dietrich was gone. Yeah, like they basically nuked the fucking Marines, and I just love how fucking like bravado they were going in.
Yeah.
Are you lean? Are you mean? What are you, Marines? And they were just like, I only need to know one thing: where they are. Yeah, like
that's like how they're all being fucking badass, and Ripley's just like, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I want that to be the truth.
Because one of those things took out my entire crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved how it went from, express elevator to hell going down to all of a sudden, I don't know if you're paying attention, man. We just got our asses kicked out there.
That's also another scene that was restored during that express elevator to hell was when Hudson's going around and like showing the guns off to Ripley.
Oh, we got 5mm cageless. Yeah.
That stuff that was cut out that was added back in. So I guess the one scene that's added back in that I'm like, I don't know that this needs to be here, is showing them on the colony. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. But like the bit that I'm really unsure of is when you see like the facehugger on Newt's dad. I'm like, I don't think we need this bit.
It's more ominous when it's just like there's a colony up there
Yeah.
and then now they're just gone.
Yeah, I think when they just show up and there's nothing there, I think that is a little bit better. And I think that's a thing that the original movie has slightly over the special
I would
edition.
agree with that.
But I think there's enough in the special edition added back in because the sentry gun scene that's added back in.
Oh yeah, no, I remember that was definitely not in the original theatric.
And I think that adds. I like that. It's just kind of continues to add the tension or whatever. Where you're like, in the initial one, it's like, why are the aliens leaving them alone? Well, the sentry guns, they're not leaving them alone. They're kind of like testing their limits.
Gun one's empty, gun two's dry, gun three stopped at 20 shells.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, well, I guess the guns are done. Yeah, like that. It's just, so good. Everything in that movie is fucking fantastic.
It's good.
But I agree with you. If you go to the planet and you're just like, okay, well, we lost track of the colony, you and I know exactly what the fuck's going on. But like to show it, I think takes away from like them coming out of the wall the first time.
Yeah.
Because we already know, but now they've confirmed that this is exactly what happened to the colony. But when they are walking through like an empty fucking base and they're just like, they stacked up things here for a last stand.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking hole in the floor. And fucking Burke looks at Ripley and goes, acid for blood. You know, like that all raises tension.
Yeah.
But to show that scene, to feather it back in, it takes the tension away.
I think a lot of it is just to kind of show, like, this place is just people, and then they show, like, the kids running around. So I think it's more to kind of maybe raise the tension that, like, yeah, kids get hurt in this particular thing, and that might be a thing.
Yeah.
And then the Newt's father scene is just kind of show, like, how close Newt was to everything,
the first person.
to everything that's going on in this, and just kind of mirror her to Ripley a little bit, in that she wasn't, it was, like, she's right there. Like, that thing's, like, happened, like, right like that.
Yeah. I will agree with you. They didn't need it, but
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Carrie Henn is good in the movie as Newt.
Yeah. Great scream.
Yeah, really great scream. But I don't know if her performance in the beginning of the movie is like, you know, I mean, kid actors are not great.
Yeah, no, it's also not a thing she pursued after this either.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't even think she was an actress before that. No. So
she was someone in England they found.
And then Cameron was just like, I dig her. Let's do it. Let's do it. But yeah, like, let's see. You had Sigourney Weaver's Ripley. You had Paul Reiser's Burke. Fucking hate Burke. Oh my god, he's still the worst thing.
About how good of an actor is Paul Reiser, that he, to this day, you can't stand Paul Reiser because he did such a good job as Burke.
Yeah, and it's not even, the show isn't what to me isn't mad about you. I'm just mad at him.
Mad about Burke.
Yeah, I'm just mad at Burke. Yeah, Paul Reiser, you're great. But oh my god, fucking Burke is the most detestable bad guy in all of cinematic history. Because it's like, okay, you put the people on the planet. You knew what happened. Now you're sending them all up there. Why the fuck did he go down the Marines? Because he knows what's going on. But at the same time,
he wanted to make sure he got one.
Well, not only that, it's like he'd never seen them. So he probably doesn't know as lethal as they are.
It's kind of like...
And at the end of the day, he's a corporate fucking stooge.
That's one of these things took out a bunch of truckers. I don't even know if they had weapons on board. We're going in with, like, the Marines. Like, well, we'll bag a few, get some samples, bring it back, and I'll be rich.
Yeah.
And it was only when Ripley's like, yeah, these aren't getting through.
They'll know because I'll tell them.
Yeah, we're not getting this shit through. And he's like, okay.
I'm really disappointed in you, Ripley. I really thought,
we could make some money.
Yeah, I really thought you'd be really cool about this. It's like, why did you think that when she called you before accepting the mission? It's like, we're going up there to kill them, right?
Yeah.
Not to grab them.
Not to study.
Not to study.
Yeah.
We're going up there to fucking kill them. And he's like, yeah, that's the plan. And then all of a sudden, I'm really disappointed in you, Ripley. It's like, why?
Yeah.
I told you in the opening statement, when I signed my fucking thing on the line, every one of them dies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Paul Reiser, he's so good as Burke that I feel like I would still dick tap the fucking actor if I ran into him. I hate Burke. It's just, blech. He's fucking detestable. Open this door, Burke. And when he gets his fucking head throttled in, canoed. Oh man, I almost cheered with that fucking alien.
Well, I guess the scene that was like full on cut was when she was looking for Newt. She was going to find Burke,
Really?
cocooned, and with like a dead facehugger near him, and she was going to give him a grenade. So I guess like one of the times later when they're running and like an explosion goes off, it's supposed to be like Burke.
I feel like just Burke's dead. Because usually when they do the whole open mouth thing and you see the little head about to strike.
I don't know. Sometimes they take people. I don't know if it's like that. They do like the growly thing, but I think they like close their teeth and like head punch you or something like that. Because they snatch people and like drag them back, and especially if you're not fighting back.
Well, I feel like that mouth is a pistol shrimp, right? Mm. Like when it hits you, just things blow out the back of whatever it is it hits.
Maybe.
Because that thing comes out at like such force. And then when the queen does it at the end, like the little xenomorphs are just like, nyah, nyah. And then the fucking queen one is just like, yeah.
And it comes out, bites, and goes back in.
It's like the size of a pumpkin or some shit. It was like, that mouth was the size of Ripley's head.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's just, I could sit here and talk about this movie all night. But you've already seen it at
Hopefully,
this point. Yeah. Like, I feel like this is a movie that, it's a rite of passage for action movies. Sigourney Weaver is just so fucking good in this movie.
Yeah.
Everybody's just so good in this movie.
I guess there's one memory. So I first saw this on like TV, and the TV edit, whatever, you know, like when the Marines are loading into the APC before they like drop out of the Sulaco, and he's like, "Oh, we got a bunch of badasses over here." During the TV edit, they just do the grunt twice in a row. It's like he walks up and and then they so I hear that every time I watch this thing, and it just kind of like mentally plays twice in my head.
That was something I was going to actually see if I can get you to like do with me, is that we would watch the regular theatrical release version and then we'd watch the TV edited for TV versions of stuff. Because I still think one of my favorite ones was I'm tired of these monkey fighting snakes on this Monday to Friday plane. That is so good.
Yep, it is.
You know, yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. That is so good. I just wanted to kick some monkey feces.
This is what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps.
This is what happens when you meet a stranger in the Alps. Gold.
Yeah.
That shit is pure fucking gold. And I think we'd have a lot of fun doing those.
It's watching the same movie twice.
It is, but like, just... Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. The first time I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that is bad. So bad, it's good. But yeah, I'd really like to see the double.
Yeah, it's just watch it, play it twice. Just record it and just kind of like go through that scene, play it, and then when the next line would come, do it again. They could just have not said anything. But I guess they just needed to do it twice.
It's like sometimes they'll clip out like the asses and they'll be like, we got a bunch of absolute baddies.
Yeah.
I don't know, but maybe they couldn't get Apone to come back and like record extra lines.
Nope.
Did you know that Apone was an actual like sergeant?
Mm-hmm. Al Matthews, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they were doing like a bunch of interviews of people to like play the role, and then he came in there and was just like, oh, they liked him so much, they're like, yeah, you're the guy. Like, I'm so glad too, because he's so good.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I like the first thing he wakes up is out of the cryo
cigar.
sleep. He puts the cigar right in.
Every day's it's another day in the Corps. Every meal a feast. Every paycheck a fortune. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
And then like the way I just love that other line was, "There's something I can do to be of help." And he's like, "Well, can you?"
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah. She jumps in the loader and is like, "Where do you want it?" And he's like, "Bay 12, please."
Yeah, just after a great laugh.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. But yeah.
And I also like the way that kind of plays out where they're down like in the nest, and he's the one that's like relaying like the superior's order. So he's just kind of like, what's going on, and trying to command people like in the chaos while also being fed orders that he can't completely make out, and it just kind of adds to that chaos.
You heard him, ladies. Hand over the clips. Hand him over. Give him over. So what are we supposed to fight him with? Bad language?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's fantastic. I can't think of one bad person in the movie.
No.
Lance Henricks as fucking Bishop.
He's so good.
Dude, I watched the fucking finger dance scene over and over again to see if it was like slowed down or sped up footage or something like that. Footage. They did a great job of isolating it because you can't see it with everyone else.
They shot it once and it didn't look as good sped up, so they had to come back and shoot it again. And during that time, he nicked Paxton's finger.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't know that.
I watched that commentary.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to watch the director's commentary. I've never watched it for this one.
It's spliced up a bit because it sounded like they had a bunch of different people come in and record, and then they're taking like this bit from James Cameron, they're taking this bit from like Gail What's her name? Gail Hurt. And this bit with some of the crew or some of the actors.
Mm.
So you kind of get like bits and pieces
Who's
of it.
Gail Hurt?
The producer and Cameron's wife at the time,
Mm. I didn't know that. Okay.
or whatever her name is, Gail
It's
and Hurt or
You want to leave
something.
this with me so I can watch it?
Yeah, if you want.
I'm pretty sure we're not going to be doing any of the other ones, and I just want to at
Not
least see
soon.
that. I'd like to at least do the director's commentary for the first and second one. Okay, because that's all they ever made of these movies was the first and second one.
Um, so three's not great, and Resurrection is okay until the end. No, I went back. Like I remember hating that movie. I went back and rewatched Resurrection. It's not that bad, but then you get to the part where Ripley bangs an alien, and then it just, pew.
Just that, but the Supreme Being alien looks so bad.
Yeah,
too.
that's after that. That
Okay.
that is it's going fine, and then the ending tanks it.
Well, I remember the thing that really impressed me with that movie is when they were like, they're intelligent, they're super intelligent beasts, and like and then when the two killed the one,
Yeah, but
and use its blood to escape.
dude's not paying attention to the two. The kill third escape.
I was like, dude, that is fucking genius.
Mm-hmm.
But like that also makes me like flash back to the line from Ripley in Aliens where she goes, "I don't know which species is worse. You
Yeah.
don't see them fucking each other over for percentage." And then like those two got together and just like,
For freedom.
yeah, they're
It's not,
just like,
it's not a percentage.
yeah, well, I'm still. They're just
Oh, yeah.
like, we don't like Paul, right?
We gotta get out of here. How about him?
Yeah.
Not us.
And even that alien looks back and forth between them like he's just like, guys, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
Yeah. It was just, it's,
I mean, that movie also has a scene in which, like the guy that's got the thing in him, and he like near the end he gets up and charges them. He's like, "Why does no one listen?" And starts plugging him with bullets, and just kind of through the whole adrenaline rush, grabs the dude's head, puts it right there, and it goes through his chest out the dude's head. It's got good shit in that movie.
yeah, but it's just,
But the ending tanks the movie.
not only that, but it's got like the predictable stuff in it too, where like everyone still fills the roles of the different characters. Like there's an Ash, which is Bishop,
Which is Call.
which is Winona Ryder. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like everyone seems to like they check the boxes off of like the crew as it marches down. Plus, the crew in the fourth movie was like it was really good. It had like the dude who played Top Dollar in The Crow,
It had
the guy with the gravelly voice.
yeah. Hellboy.
Yeah, it had oh god, why am I blanking on his fucking name right now? Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. Yeah.
Yeah, Ron Perlman was in it. Like that movie was
It's good. It's good to a point.
that, and I just don't like Ripley being an alien thing.
I think because it's not Ripley anymore. That's someone else, and that managed to make me enjoy the movie a bit more. Like Ripley died in the third movie; she's gone.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Ripley. This is like what was it? Ripley 7, Ripley 13, but like whatever clone number she is.
Yeah, it's the,
Someone that has vague memories of hers, but is kind of like different. She's like 90% Ripley DNA, like 10% alien DNA.
she's Quipley.
Yeah.
She's Queen Ripley.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just I don't know.
I think if you're to rewatch it, you might like it more than you probably remember because it's kind of like watching Spider-Man 3 again, where I remember like, man, Spider-Man 3 blows, and then I went back and rewatched it. I'm kind of like, now that I know what to expect,
I can agree with that.
it's not as bad as it was, and you can enjoy the fun bits. You can enjoy Bully Parker, where he's just kind of like coming out of the thing and being like, I mean, it's a gift for a reason.
Yeah, but like, so I would agree with that assessment. When I went back and watched Spider-Man 3 a second time, I was just like, this movie's not as bad as I remember it.
And you can pick out the bits that you like. I remember the bits I don't like about it. I don't like Topher's Venom and some of the other. I didn't like
You want to kill the spider. I want to kill. God,
I didn't
so
like
bad.
Sandman being the one that took the shot. But then you like rewatching, you're like, it's not as bad as I thought. Remember, it was still mostly that one guy's fault. He kind of like ran up and jostled the guy's arm, and it. So there's enough there to reconcile. Like it's not an awful movie. It's just not what I wanted. It's not as bad as I remember. I think Resurrection is there, and that if you watch it and think of having watched Firefly, and that this was proto Firefly because Joss Whedon wrote it, and you kind of can. He had a 5-person team or whatever it was, and then he eventually expanded it to like 9. But if you watch this movie and think of Ripley 9 or whatever it is as River Tam, you kind of have the captain there. You've kind of got like it's not the worst, and then the ending tanks it.
Wait,
But if you watch the director's cut, they actually get to Earth, and it's interesting.
okay. I'll give it another go. I've only seen the movie
And yeah,
maybe two
yeah,
times.
it's not great, but it's better than I think people give it.
It deserved more.
Yes, it deserved more.
But
It's no
anyways,
Covenant. Alien Covenant? Do you even remember that one? We went to the theaters to see that one.
that was the first one?
No, that was um, after Prometheus. It was Ridley Scott's sequel to Prometheus. It had Danny McBride in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah,
But both those movies were just bad.
I didn't like Prometheus. Some people like Prometheus, I didn't. But seeing here that I'm the sort of person that was interested in kind of the Dark Horse and where Dark Horse took it. Because Dark Horse did a line after Aliens and continued with Newt and Hicks. And they lived, and here's a story line with them in it. And I'm like, this is so much better than we got with Alien 3. Because it was actually what you wanted out of a sequel to this movie. Because this movie ends with essentially the nuclear family still alive and fucked up in some ways because Hicks was all burned up. But they could conceivably go on more adventures. And then the third movie's like, I don't want to do that movie. I want to do this movie, but I have to use this character, so I'm just going to get rid of the people I don't want to deal with, and deal with. And
They rained it. Rained Wilson did, or whatever the hell.
Yeah,
his
Ryan.
name
Well,
was.
it's kind of like you do this thing for me. I've got this idea I want to do. It's okay if you did another Alien movie. You don't need Ripley in it. You could tell a story about aliens and not have Ripley. It's okay.
I think she didn't want to come back.
She didn't.
Like she didn't want to even come back for two.
She didn't want to come. Yeah, she didn't want to come back for two.
Because I think Sigourney Weaver actually like detests weapons.
Yeah.
Like she detests guns.
So she came back to two, and she had a list of 3 things for James Cameron. Let's see if I can remember all of it. She didn't want to. She didn't want to use a gun. She wanted to have sex with the alien. And God, there's one
She
more.
wanted to have sex.
And the one more thing, and she wanted to die.
So basically, it was like 3 non-starters. So
And James Cameron said no to all of them, but she eventually got all 3 of those things. Because in 3 she died. She didn't use a gun in 3.
It's true.
And then in 4 she had sex with the alien. So you could.
So it was like basically, let's kick that can down the road.
It was more of like, I don't want to do those things, but then like the talk of Alien 3 comes up, and now we're like, Sigourney Weaver had like this much pull in Aliens 1, and then she had like this much pull in Aliens 2, and then she had this much pull in Alien 3, and then like this much pull in Alien 2. So she, like, you can get me back, but I need these things to be in this movie.
But see, the weird part about that is like she did the first one, great movie. She did the second one. She's like, I want these 3 things. And he's like, you're not getting any of that. But I tell you what, you don't want to be in a second movie, so I'll just give you a third and a fourth
But
movie.
it ended up being the mother storyline in Aliens is kind of like what sold Sigourney Weaver on Aliens. It's kind of like here's the mother daughter dynamic between her and Newt was just kind of like so good, and I think just kind of the mirroring of it with like the queen and her little bird or whatever, like during that scene in which they're just kind of like facing off with each other, like no communication necessary. Just kind of like the aliens are coming in. She points the flamethrower. She shows the flamethrower, like spits fire, and then pointed it at the egg. And then the queen knew.
Yeah, and the queen was just like, all right, everyone back off.
Kind of looks to one, looks to the other, and they like back off, and then you kind of get it. But then the queen's like, and then the shit goes down.
Yeah, and I loved how Ripley was just like, and then the queen was like, okay, everyone back off. Then they backed off, and then Ripley was just kind of staring at her. Then the cocoon opened, and Ripley did the
Nancy,
like
you did it.
yeah, that's do you think I'm stupid?
That violates our treaty.
Yeah, and then she just starts pumping fucking grenades like that.
Yeah, it's so good.
Especially how they introduced the queen.
It's so
when
good.
Ripley walked in the first time, you see the big fucking like the egg sac.
Ovipositor.
Yeah, and then
like all the fucking like shit connecting her like on her back like to the ceiling, whatever the fuck it is, like all that strands holding her up.
Yeah, like she's like her and the thing are actually encasing her to the ceiling.
And just like how this whole little thing up here looks like a crown.
Yeah, it's fucking dope. Like and it's got like the extra little fucking grabby hands, little T-Rex arms up by her. Like it's just she's so fucking wicked looking, and her legs are so oversized and fucking huge. The first time you see the fucking thing run, it's like bam. Yeah. Like in the space station, oh god, that thing is like the thing of fucking nightmares.
It's one of the best alien designs. Like I think Predator The aliens, they're so well designed.
Yeah, the Predator is not should not be as good of a movie as it is for an '80s movie. Like, I know they made amazing movies back in the '80s, but like his design was over the top fucking dope.
For Predator.
And then like the alien in the original Aliens movie, the suit has problems.
But like the way they shot it, it looks so fucking good. And the occasional bits when you'd see like it's got the dome on it, but it's got like the human skull top bit
Yeah,
that you can kind of see underneath the head dome and stuff like that.
yeah,
That I like the design in Aliens, but I think the design in Alien is a bit more sleek and kind of, I don't know, interesting in a way. But also it was younger. That thing apparently was less than 24 hours years old, or 24 hours old.
yep. It was a new guy.
So maybe over time they get kind of like more bumpity and shit, because this one is presumably weeks,
Yeah.
a month. I don't know how
Less
long.
than a month. That thing was like destroying people on a fucking day-to-day basis, basically.
I mean, in Aliens, like
Oh.
I don't remember how long they lost communication to the point where they got there. Long enough that they had to go into cryosleep.
Yeah. The other part that I always thought was weird, and I actually watched this part a couple of times too, is like the first time they go in and like they're part of the wall, genius move.
Oh, it's so good.
But like it grabs the person, and then I guess it's being pulled up on
And
a
then
fucking
yeah,
Batman.
it just kind of goes up.
Yeah, it
I wonder,
just.
I wonder if it's got its tail like wrapped up in a pipe and it just kind of like up we go.
So I kept watching that to see if like one arm was like grabbing, but no, it did
It
double arm
does
grab,
the full grab and then it's just going up.
and then it's just floating away like it's got like Batman's fucking like toe line or some shit like that. And the only thing I can imagine Ripley saying as she was watching it float off was, "Where did they get all those wonderful toys?" You know, like I kept watching that over and over again for like, is there an explanation for why it can do this? They, you would think that like the Warriors would like try and take everyone alive so they can just make more, but those dudes. I have a feeling you have some of the rogues that just like basically blast people in the fucking head with their tiny
I
mouths.
think it's the first guy got like snatched, and then they started shooting fire at them and they're like, oh wait,
Yeah, we got to neutralize these.
that's a way
fucks.
danger, because at the end when when Hudson's like, hey, these two people are still alive.
Yeah, but even Hudson got taken away. Like they just straight up like
Like
ripped
Hudson might not have died. Well, I mean he died, but he like that
Yeah.
little thing might not have been lethal. He might have gotten put in a cocoon.
Yeah, his face got grabbed and he got pulled under.
Yeah.
Apone, we know that he got something late in him. Let's see, was it Frost?
No, Frost got
He died
he got
because
flame,
he got
flame
flamethrowed.
throwed.
Yeah, and then fell.
And then yeah,
Yeah, he dead.
I think maybe I don't remember that. Where's Bowski?
Wazbowski. I think Wazbowski was the one that also got snatched.
That's how I remember his name, because like when I was a kid, where's Bowski didn't sound like a name. It sounded like where is Bowski. It's like where's Bowski?
Bowski!
No, it's where's Bowski. I'm like, where is Bowski? I don't know where Bowski is.
Yeah, it's just, oh god. And as soon as like and then it's like the other thing I love about the movie is that you have this problem, and then here's another problem. This fucking nuclear power, the station, like it's venting this thermal heat, so it's gonna blow up in like 6 hours.
Yes, we needed like problem A, like all this shit happened. Our way off this rock is destroyed. Well, the Marines will start looking for us in 17 days, so we have to chill here for 17 days. Actually, no, look at that nuclear reactor. We got like 6 hours.
Yeah, 17 days. You're not gonna last 17 hours, pal.
Yeah.
But I also liked how they went ahead and set up in the beginning, like Ripley's relationship with Ash, and then she finds out that Bishop's an android, and she's like, "Fuck that thing right in the face. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not doing." And she's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go over here," and she's like, "Yeah, you do that, Ash."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, she don't like the cornbread neither."
Stay away from me.
Yeah, I loved how she was immediately adversarial with him
Well,
because
they made him creepy too. Like there's something you're suspecting him, then it's like Burke is like, haha, it's me.
yeah,
Like,
that's
fine.
true. Well, he's got the fascination that Ash had with them.
What's that scene when she's like looking in the microscope, and the guy's like, "Hey Bishop, you need anything?" It's like, "Hey Bishop,"
Hello, Bishop.
and just kind of he gives him that like a look, like he's just kind of
Yeah, he's
in it.
processing it. Yeah, but like Ash in the first movie was just like they're fascinating, brilliant, perfect creatures.
Yeah.
At least Bishop was just like looking at him from somewhat of a clinical point of view, where he's just like, yeah, you gotta admire their defenses. They're hard to fucking kill. You don't want to fucking kill them. But it's awesome when one of my other favorite scenes was he was like, yeah, we need to figure out a way to get over there and like get to this radio tower so we can call the ship down. And it's like, well, I'm not gonna fucking go. And Hendrix just goes, I'll go. And then they're
Yeah,
still
very very
arguing.
quiet in the back. It's like, and Hudson's like, yeah, send Bishop.
Yeah, fucking I send Bishop, man. Yeah, but like he says it, I'll go 3 times, and
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
still arguing, and they're like, yeah, fucking send Bishop. When they cut the fucking tunnel open and they put him in, and Vasquez hands him the pistol, and he goes,
He looks at it.
and looks at it and just hands it to Ripley. I thought that scene was great.
It's also like when the thing comes down, he says, watch your fingers.
Yeah, watch your fingers.
Yeah.
And then he immediately flips over and starts doing that. Talk about claustrophobic.
Seriously.
I fucking hate watching that scene, just watching his head looking up doing that. Like, if it would have been me, I swear to God, if I would have been the actor in that scene, it would have been like 2 seconds of me going, and then the third second I would have been like, open it up, open it up, open it up.
And we're
like,
done.
No, fuck this. Yeah.
During the commentary, they do cut to Lance Hendrickson and like Bill Paxton and stuff talking about that scene. It's like, how'd you get in there? It's like, just like you saw. And I'm like, how'd they film it? Like a tiny camera on like wheels.
Yeah, and just kind of like pulling it away from him.
Pull it with a rope.
Interesting.
And then you just crawl through it.
How guerrilla like some of those scenes are. Like when it jumps at her the first time, I guess it's just on a rope and they're just like, yoink!
Yeah.
You know?
That's even just the queen itself. You can kind of, it's there, it's real. So you can kind of see how they have to manipulate the tail or whatever. You can kind of see, well, it's probably got a tension point up there because you can kind of see it going around. But that doesn't detract from the movie in the least bit to me.
Plus, when it strikes at her for the first 2 times, and then like it goes through great pains to like pan back and show you that it's all fucking coiled
It's
like a
cool,
snake, and it's just doing that. Like it looks so.
It
wicked.
still looks good.
Yeah.
Like real effects just make shit look so fucking good.
Yeah.
And like nowadays we get real effects, but they like put a lot of animatronics in them sometimes too that make it look uncanny valley-ish. This being nothing resembling a human, I think aids in its realism bit when they made it like there. It's not trying to do human faces that it can't quite do. It's alien.
And the Xenomorph looks so good, and
Yeah.
it's the perfect fucking killing machine. It's great, and it's got Sasha hands apparently.
No, it's got
Just double thumbs.
it's got double thumbs.
Okay.
And in some of the movies, it's got like 4 fingers because these two are fused, and in some of the ones they've got it like separate. So it kind of depends on who you're watching, but whether they've got the full-on double hand or is it the fused double hand.
I would love it if like the fused hand was like when they copied the pilots. You know, the pilot, and then the 5 fingers is when they copied the humans. Because like
It's just different. Who's drawing it or who's
how badass is that? If I can lay an egg in it, I could take the best of you and the best of me and make something that's just next level fucking horrifying. Because whenever I went and saw like the Aliens 3 and I saw that it ingested itself into a dog, I was like, oh, this is going to be off the fucking chain.
Yep.
Because all we'd seen is humans to that point.
It was like smaller, a little bit faster.
Yeah, and like
And on all fours all the time.
and they had makeup. I think they had still shots of like a dog in an alien kind of xenomorph kind of costume. It was like a greyhound.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But like I think when they released the dog would just try and shake the fucking headpiece off, and they were like, okay, that's not gonna work. But yeah, seriously,
It's good.
if the gushing we haven't done so far doesn't make you want to go and watch this movie, just force yourself to watch it and come back and fucking thank us later.
I guess speaking of what people think of aliens,
No.
what do you think? The people on IMDb out of 750,000 people.
Wow.
So it's probably about where you'd expect. Where you would expect the number's not going to change much.
9.4
8.4.
should be higher.
I would agree that it should be higher.
Should be higher. That's not cool.
On Rotten Tomatoes, there's only 84 critic reviews. What do you think the critics gave it?
7.8.
So 78%,
Yes.
98%.
Good.
Um,
Glad I was wrong on that one.
the audience gives over 250,000 of people have rated it. So it's again got a decent baseline, or it's where it's probably stabilized. What do you
94.
think? That's dead on.
Really?
Yeah, 94.
Nice.
98, 94. That's the right percentage.
Yes. No. That's absolutely correct. But that also fits in the criteria of my movie line suggestion. Why do you hate joy? Because like the critics are not supposed to be higher than the audience.
And they are, but then again, there's less of them.
That's
I would
true.
imagine if you gave it to more people, it might settle.
Per capita, yes. That's
It might settle down. which
Right.
hence why I gave like 255, 250 plus. I don't know if it would actually give me the full on how many people actually do it because IMDb 750-ish thousand people
Mm-hmm.
reviewed it and gave it to the point where it settles at 8.4. I could see 8.4.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. If nearly a million people are giving your movies eights,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times you look at these things and it's like not like a fucking 9.3, and it's like 1,000 people have rated it.
The only way I would accept that score is if every one of those people knocked off points because of Burke. That's the only way I accept it. Because Burke is terrible.
He's so, I don't know. Action movie. This guy gave it an 8. This guy gave it a 9. This guy gave it a 9. This guy gave it a 10. I could see 9. 8 or 9 is fine. It being a 10 for me is because this is the sort of movie where I watched it as a kid, and I'm like, there's toys for this shit. I'm gonna go buy the toys. And then like Predators came out. I'm like, fuck, I can have aliens and Predators fight each other. And then like comics came out for Alien vs Predator. I'm like, oh fuck. And this shit just kind of like ingrained itself
Yeah.
into my little child mind, which this should not have been a children's movie, but I liked that back in the 90s. They would put out like RoboCop, an R-rated movie, and they'd be like RoboCop toys.
That's when they would just sell anything.
Oh yeah,
I think
and like they sold Marines back in the day. Like I don't want the Marines. That's one of the fucking aliens.
only if the Marines explode when you hit them with like the alien fucking
I think I
mounts and
used to
stuff.
have. I might have had Bishop because Bishop was like a robot guy.
Oh, and did he split in half?
I think he did. I think he might have.
Okay.
I know the Queen definitely did.
And now,
No, there was one alien. He had a front cap, a back cap, the intestines and the head bit that would kind of you'd put those on, lock it into the spring of his legs, and there was a button on his like little tail area that would just kind of like launch the top part of him off, and the two little caps would like split open, so he was an alien that exploded,
nice.
and he's fucking dope.
That's awesome. That's like the alien toys. I'm still trying to figure out what they did because there's like a bull alien.
Oh yeah, that's what all those toys lines would come out.
Really?
Because like Alien 3, I think was out in the theater, or in the theater ish around that time, and they kind of introduced the idea of maybe something in a dog would look a bit more dog-like. So they're cool, a bull alien. So it's like you would like it had a lever on its back that would launch its head out, so it would do like
Toro
a
thing.
little thing, and then you could like flick the little lever, and its head would go. You had
Okay.
like a crab alien.
Crap alien.
It had like fucking pincers, I think. You had one that was like walking like mantis-y, I think. I'll just show you, like,
I've got the toys downstairs.
from the 90s?
No, not the 90s.
That's what I'm saying, like, from the 90s.
No, I bought
Where
the
they're,
stuff that was released in Walmart like in the past 5 years.
I mean, the shit that's meant to be, like, played with when you're a young kid.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if ever you go see, I don't know if James and Becky kind of, if he's playing with that stuff, because I gave away all that shit to him.
I know. No, I'm sure it's there, but Avery has so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could see, like, all the weird shit I used to play with as a kid. That is not cool, I would think, for nowadays, but it's fucking dope.
Yeah, but Avery just had his birthday. I brought him over a Transformer. Like, that kid is so sweet. I love him to death. I gave it to him, and like the first time we were trying to transform it, it was like breaking
Oh.
in my hands, and I was like, "Sorry, Avery. I really wanted to give you something cool, but if you want Uncle Lance to take this back and get you something new," and he said, "I love it because you gave it to me." I was like, "Oh my god, kid, you are so sweet." Oh my god, my heart was like bleeding that day. I love him so much. I love you, Avery. But
Aliens.
yes,
One of the, like, best action movies ever.
best action movie ever, and one of the best action movie heroes of all times. It broke my heart. It broke my heart when I found out that Adidas was making alien stompers, the high tops that she wears in the movie, and I did not have enough money to buy a pair. I looked for weeks for a pair of 10.5 high top stompers. Best price I could find was $900.
Jesus.
I am not spending that kind of money on a fucking pair of shoes.
No.
So, if you love me,
I don't even like shoes.
yeah, I wanted a pair of the Bug Stompers so bad because my problem was if I would have found out about them in time, I would have paid the $400 it was or whatever it was for a pair of shoes because I wanted them that fucking bad, dude. I combed the internet for months after that release, but I think it was another pair of shoes that sold out in like minutes.
Yeah, kind of like the Back to the Future ones too, right?
Yeah, but I mean that's the world we live in now, where like John Q will go out and buy everything of something that's in a limited run
and resell it
and sell it on a fucking secondary market, and I hate that.
That's what happened with Disney came out with a Magic style game, Lorcana, and apparently a bunch of people were buying those and then like reselling them, which is not a good idea because Disney said we're going to keep printing the set until every kid is happy.
Yeah. Funko Pop put out Funkos of Eddie from Stranger Things 2.
Oh yeah,
And those things sold quick. And like,
and not because people wanted them.
I picked one up in Target and looked at it and went, I bet Amber would like that, but I didn't have the money, so I put it back down. The next day I was in Hot Topic and the girl's like, oh, my boyfriend just bought me one of the Eddie Pops. And I was like, yeah, I saw one in Target the other day. She's like, no, they're sold out. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah, they sold out in like a day. And I was like, oh. And I said, how much did your boyfriend pay for it? She goes, oh, on the secondary market, like $80. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But then Funko Pop, I think, gave them a thumb in the eye because they turned around and released a second run of them.
That's good.
So they all went back down.
I hate those people.
Fuck you if you're a secondary market seller. Like,
It's we're already dealing with middlemen. Don't be a second middleman.
Well, it's like if you have a comic book from 20 years ago that's rare, make your money.
Oh yeah.
But stop buying up everything.
Or it's especially like, I bought this for me. Like I buy shit for me, and eventually one day I'm like, I don't want this anymore, and then I end up selling it or whatever. That's different than me buying it immediately and trying to like turn around and resell it.
What year is this?
2023.
I'm gonna take you downstairs and show you some shit I got.
Maybe.
I think I'd impress you with my collection of the alien stuff that I bought back in the day.
So.
Oh man, look at that spine.
Oh, it went right into the.
It's a nice newsstand.
Yeah, it went right into the bag and board.
Bonus digital edition.
Yeah. So something I like that Marvel's doing is it's got little codes in there. You kind of like peel off that little sticker, enter the code on the website, and it's the same account as Disney Plus. So if you've got a Disney Plus account, you've got a Marvel Unlimited account.
That's amazing.
You buy comics and now you can read them online.
That's amazing, Marvel. What a good idea. Send us money. Send us money. All right. Well, Nick.
Shall we put a pin in this one?
I think so. We've gushed enough on Aliens.
Yep.
If we haven't convinced you to go watch it, you've got bad taste in movies. There's not really much more we can say.
I'm not that much of a stickler, but you're allowed to dislike this movie.
You are allowed to dislike this movie.
Then
I'm allowed to dislike you. I'm kidding. You're fine.
Yeah, you're allowed to dislike this movie. It's just as long as you could watch it and go, I understand why people like it. If you watch this movie and you're like, no one should like this movie, then calm down.
Well, calm down, but like I'd also like to know why. Like I'd like to know why.
Yeah.
Like what happened in this movie? Well, I had a friend of mine that was a Marine that blew himself with a grenade at one time. Okay, understandable.
Sure.
But don't like.
I'm afraid of aliens. Like there's plenty of reasons to be like,
Yeah.
I'm afraid of X, or this gives me anxiety, or
Sure.
I was in Nam. I don't need a Nam. Facsimile or whatever.
How good is the first part where it's like 10 meters, 9, 8 meters, 7? That's impossible. That's in the room.
Yeah.
And the very first time the fucking homeboy goes.
Ripley looks up.
It wasn't Ripley.
It was Ripley.
Was it Ripley or I thought it was
Ripley looks up, and then everyone else looks up, and then Hicks gets up, and
yeah, and then Hicks does the slow pan, and then you see them upside down fucking coming, and he's just like, it's so fucking good, man.
Good.
Holy shit! All right,
we're done.
Have fun. Go watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
If there are better movies than Aliens out there,
There's plenty.
well, put them in the comments.
Yeah.
And tell us what you want us to watch.
Yes. This is our Thanksgiving.
These are
special.
movies we give thanks
This is
for.
we are glad, and we like thank you, James Cameron, and everyone involved for making this movie. Tell us what movies you are thankful for, why. Like I'm really glad for, was it 16 Candles or whatever, because it got me through whatever as a kid. Or like I've never seen 16 Candles.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, never seen it. But like,
Hey Nick.
that's a different episode. But like, are those movies like this movie is like a comfort movie for me, like or just I just really like this movie. That's kind of like I just really like this movie.
It's one of the best. Yeah. Oh, and I was also going to tell you, apparently there's a copy somewhere out there of the Thing prequel without all the digital effects. Apparently that movie was done with practical effects, and the producer of the movie went back over them and put digital effects over it. So apparently that's out there somewhere. So release the butthole cut of the fucking prequel of the thing, please, please.
And it's called the butthole cut because whoever did the digital things is a fucking butthole.
Yes, yes. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everybody.